Thank you very much, Chair, and very good morning to all of you. So it's an honor for me, again, to be here and presenting, sorry, I've got a sore throat this morning, presenting a paper. And I think my task is also, easier because this morning, the previous one, the previous one that we are talking about the same language, that is about scholarly communication and how that we should, access that. It is, and then we agree that open access is one of the solutions that could, distribute our research information to others. So, but before. It's just a glance about the history of, about how that we could get information. That in the prehistoric era, the human, just transfer the information through oral communication. And then, with time change, and then they know about the ability of painting and writing. So they just knowledge paint and also written in the media, various media, and then could be stone, wall, and all kinds of metals as well. And then after that, printing technology introduced, and that's the beginning of that. That now we can produce, information in books, and then print it and kept individually or in the libraries. So the library keep the sustain of knowledge in the library, and then the library using catalog system. So, and then we just been introduced about the catalog card system at that time. And then that is, a very quick lap after that, when internet access introduced in end of 20th century. So the paradigm has changed, and then the system about getting knowledge changed as well, and the knowledge can be found easily, and then communicated, and seek the knowledge in no limit, no time, and also globally. So it has been it's a kind of quick development. And also the catalog card system then replaced with search engine. And then that is also the information communication change at that era into the digital era. So, and then we could communicate through WhatsApp. I know that here in India, everybody is using WhatsApp as well for communication. Indonesia also WhatsApp. And then we can make a call every time that we need to make a phone call, no matter where your relatives are, so you can make a phone call. So open access has been developed as well at that time. So, and in this case, the science and technology also play an important role for share the network cooperation, and then also to emphasize science and technology knowledge been exchanged and transferred, also in the national basis and also in the international one. And that is very effective, and that also affect the life of scholarly communication exchange as well. I'm not doing, what the most important one is the scholar need to get information for their research and development. And also for the institute itself and universities, they require to publish their findings through media. And nowadays, it's printed media is getting less common, and then replaced by the electronic media, and also that the open domain and open access is more popular, but it is not always open, that we've been discussed before. So the tendency of using digital information is also in a high demand. Now, in this case, that this also affects about how the paradigm of a library system has been changed as well. And then, although that always open, but behind that, there is always subscription that we have talking about before, and also the access, is it online or not, who provide the access, and who provide the portal for the information. So, there are always, consideration about that, and then also the organization has to be sponsored. And on the other side as well, the prestige and reputed publishers are commercially dominated the publication. That we have a good discussion also during break before, that why that they are still exist and still very much in a high demand. So it depends also where that where the country, or how the publishers from the country, and also the scientists in the country as well. So because of that high subscriptions, and also when you put that in a reputed and prestige publisher, it's affect the budget, and then have to check about the budget, and the researchers that want to put the publication need to check whether they have the amount of money for the budget, just like that. So the budget is for, I'm not talking in details because it's already talked before. The budget is for publication fee and also publication process. And then there is on several examples about article publication process tariff. Nature, it's about 1,000 up to 5,000. Elsevier is about 500 to 5,000. Willy about 500, 5,000. So in this case, in Indonesia also, but I believe this is not only Indonesia, but researchers in European countries, they have the same problems as well. They must seek incentive for their publication in that reputed international journal. So if it is private or sponsored or from their own institution. Why that I mentioned that? Hang on. So Indonesia have policies and regulation because of that, and also because that Indonesia in the competitive human resources index and this global index competitive, the rank is very low. It's number 36 from 37 countries. Why is that? It's because that Indonesian researcher, they lack of writing, and then scientific literacy is not as big as we expected. And also, the area graduate skills are lacking as well in Indonesia. The case of Indonesia, this is the survey that done by in 500 business offices actually. So it's not directly related to the researcher, but we can see that the division of graduates in reading and writing is not very good. It's the percentage is about 90%. So in this case, that so there must be a policy, and we must evaluate as well about all of this. And then Indonesia have released policies and regulation, lots of policies and regulation, but I'm not talking one by one about that, because that is about that lecturers and also researchers have published their scientific paper, and then also that there is a credit point actually. So that's why, as a researcher or as a lecturer, we have a kind of a grade, which the top grade will have the top incentive, and that incentive come if the grade come for part of the publication as well. So in that case, because of that. Also the position. If you have position, let's say in the university, so you should have also publication that have to be published as well in national level and international level. So the credit points for incentive regarding that promotion of grading and ranking of the lectures has been released as well. There are regulation, but lately, then we have Indonesian policies that about scientific journal accreditation regulation. So we have term and condition for upgrading the research rank, and then need scientific publication in the accredited journal. So and in this case, because in the ministry have a look to the lack of the possibilities of the graduates in reading and also writing. And then there are a policy released as well recently so the ministry built a journal for accreditation of national journal. And also with that journal, the ministry expect that all scientists and could propose the journal to be accredited in this portal, but I'm afraid the portal now still in Bahasa. And then if it is accredited, and then we have a reviewer, also so the ministry provide for the reviewer, editor team and everything. And then once accepted, the journal and the result will be published to other portal. We call it Sinta. So the Arjuna portal is for journal publishing, but Sinta portal is if it is being published. So the name is Arjuna and Sinta, maybe is common in India, but I really don't know why the ministry named that portal. So if the score doesn't meet the minimum score criteria, so the ministry will give free training and consultancy to make success of the journal submission. So in case the institute doesn't have their own server or apps for publishing the e-journal, so the ministry initiates the house of e-journal as well. So this is, I'd like to talk a bit about the establishment of Shinta. So the Ministry of Research, Technology and Higher Education established Sinta in 2017. The portal contains, you can read through about measurement performance, SNT of SNT, and then mapping scientific publication, index and citation as well, and professional center based on website, and also about the publication, recording, etc., etc. So in this case, that we encourage the researcher of Indonesia to put their paper in this journal. And also, end of 2018, Sinta has a collection of 1.1 million document and index journal, 6,500. And then also to encourage them, the publication, the ministry gave awards to those institutes have a good performance. And the feature in Sinta, it's like a citation and networking, research output, and etc. Now, what the real problem in here? So the real problem is the obligation of the lecturers and researchers to do research and make published reports on their research work in national and international journal. So if the journal is reputed internationally, the credit points will be higher. And if the credit point higher, affecting the quickly increase of rank of professionalism as well. Also the incentive that they could gain. So the publishing report, so if we want to raise our rank quickly, so the researchers still, think that it's also high demands for to put their publication in that indexing citation. So that is the real problem. And although the publication takes time, the process takes time. Sometimes, when a finish is about 2 years, something like that. But the researchers still want to make that because they think that they will have kind of cross-cut, for the level of professionalism as well as also for the incentive. Now, I'd like to also raise ideas about the open access from the UNESCO, which we had a kind of discussion previously, that they promote open access. So global open access portal, that is the movement to make all the data and information accessible to all. That is for provide in 158 countries, and then for policymakers as well. Because if it is only for researchers doesn't have money. The money comes from the government.
I'm sorry, can you wind up now?
No, I mean, not initially doesn't have money, but for this kind of process. So the government should take care about that, not the researcher itself. So that's why that they offer open access, and then they have to give a brief introduction to the policymakers as well and government, and to initiate this movement. So you can see the portal in here, the blue one. And also the international initiative from Berlin Open Access Conference in 2018. That is, it's a message conveyed to the publisher for cost saving in scholarly communication. So we've got to move towards immediate open access. So that would be for 37 countries from 5 continents that agreed and committed to complete the immediate open access. Now, so we move to about the application of open access information. I don't know any of you is familiar with SCIF law that is also initiated by Max Planck. So in this case, that tools and service for scientific writing actually. And you can see all the portal website in here, and then how can you make your work easier. So, and then they just give you training about, how to make publication for scientific paper. And also open access information in Google Scholar. So any of you using Google Scholar? Yes, so yeah, so it's quite also a powerful search engine if you need to ask something in that for the scholar communication. And then also Google Scholar can search across many disciplines of source. and helps to find relevant work across the world of scholarly research. And information can also be hybrid, so depend on the database. So it could be open access, or maybe you have to, to pay for to open or to enter that database.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, can you wind up? We are running behind the schedule.
Pardon?
Can you wind up now?
Yes, okay, thank you. Okay, Google Scholar, this is, for the Google Scholar, which is, if it is not yet known about this. So it's kind of the summaries that I'd like to tell about the paid access to get information or subscription. It's a business of the publisher. So we cannot avoid that you must do the open access. We cannot pay, or the government cannot pay. So you've got to make it free. So I think we cannot do that. If it is paid, so it should be a reasonable price, and also that if it is what to shift to open access, because they have the open access, but not too many for the journal. So maybe it's it's bigger, the journal. So what we could do, build strong collaboration of open access. So it cannot be 100% free, but the tariff can be reduced and affordable by individual as well as institution. And there is paradigm of prestigious ranking of university and R&D institution that are dominated by commercial index publisher. So it has to be shifted as well into non-commercially indexing system. So the paradigm may be that we need to urge, to change that, or, so what kind of publishing that should be in there. So on the other hand, researchers should be more open in publishing their information results in open access, because sometimes they are afraid, about duplication, and also that they just want to keep, because they still have work with that, unless that they are patented process or under special agreement. Okay, thank you very much.